Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're taking a look at MINX's Love Shake dance practice video. I do know they have a dance performance version of this, but I wanted to look at just the choreography, and then I'll take a moment to look at the music videos of MINX as well. Now, the thing is I'm actually doing a Dreamcatcher marathon, but I do know that MINX was where a lot of the members of Dreamcatchers, they started, and then they transitioned over about it. There was like a year difference between MINX and Dreamcatcher, and then that's what was voted on for this month, was to take a look at Dreamcatcher, and I thought it was only fair to really look at where they started to where they are now. So I'm very, very excited about that, and so far I've really enjoyed what they've brought, and I didn't realize that I knew their debut song, Urichibewe, that one. I didn't know I actually knew that, and I had downloaded it just because I liked the track. So it makes me very excited to just see and go on this journey with everybody. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a watch. Kind of sounds like one of those tutorial videos. It kind of sounds like that. This is cute with the little ice creams in the front, or shakes, yeah. They also added a little filter to this too, makes it fun. It's cute. Very nice. Honestly, this would be perfect for a ice cream commercial. I swear, it's perfect for that. I wonder if they did. That's cute! Shake it, love! It's cute. And then it honestly just makes me wonder, I think this could have been an oversaturation in the market for this type of concept of a K-pop group. I really feel like that it was probably a timing thing, and they're not a super huge company either. You know, so I feel like it could have just been really, really bad timing, which is why you have a group, you get the same girls, put them in a different concept, night and day difference, you know what I mean? Because I know Dreamcatcher is such a different vibe. It's more of a rock influence, which is so not a concept that's done by the female idols nearly as much, and I think that really, really helped. It was a great call to do that, and I also don't know if it was I don't know if they're still with, I don't know if they were with that agency when they transitioned to Dreamcatcher. I don't know any of that information, so I am looking forward to hearing more about this transition, because I think honestly I just have some dance practices, but this is the last one of theirs. It's a really, really cute ending. So I know I spoke mostly about just like what I had mentioned. It really feels like this was just not the best concept for the era of the time where they debuted. I genuinely feel that way, because they are doing a great job committing to the concept, obviously. But it also could be, you know, well, actually, hold on, let me do some digging. Okay, did some digging, and 2015 is when this came out, and in 2015, Twice debuted. So, when it comes to, I know Twice doesn't really do like the super cute, but they definitely are from there at that time. This was before Hype, right? Where you still had big hit entertainment. When you got a big three at that time releasing something with a concept, normally they're the ones that become the front runner of that concept. That's just what was happening in that era. And so I really think this was the best thing to ever happen, is for them to transition into a different concept, because like, you know, there's such a huge, because of Girls' Generation, like the reason why 2NE1 stuck out when they did is because they were so different than a lot of the cutesy styles that were happening. But then, so that's why FX stood out. It was like that girl crush, you know, that's where a lot of that was incepted. You had FX, you had 4 Minute, and you had 2NE1. Like, they came out in that 09, 2010. Mwah, bless it. You know, love it. But then Girls' Generation was like that super cutesy vibe, and they came out way before then. And then you had Twice coming out in 2015 during this era, and I think there's a couple other groups, like April came out and debuted. So CLC came out. So there was a lot of stuff happening during this time. So all that to say, this was great. This was nice. I do think, when you think about it, we're starting to enter into the era where dance does matter a little bit more than just as like a back end thing. And I don't think that their choreography it didn't help them in any way in regards to showcasing a sense of complexity or captivation about it. It did feel very typical. It was a typical concept, a typical type of track with a typical choreography, and for a small company that may not be very helpful in sticking out, you know. So, but going from the top here, I mean, they're definitely synchronization is top tier, great for sure. Going up and down rotation of the hips, which I really like. Digging through, hitting through, down, up, really nice. Pose, 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 pose. Very clear. Like, they do a very good job on their dynamics and making sure that everything is clear. Sitting down into the hip, which I really like. Dun, dun, dun. Notice one of our girls, she definitely has more full energy. So I wonder if they still did roles, or like whose roles were. I wonder if she's deemed one of our dancers, because she does perform very full like one. So that's kind of my overall note. Digging through, really good choice of having 2 of them cross their arms and then 3 of them expanding them out. Shows a really nice range. I will say one of them did cut off her arm ever so slightly in that little swoosh up the hip. So that would be a note to refine that. Walking forward, doom, doom, doom. It's really fun. Boom and da da da. Really nice to see. So they have accent and accent. Really great usage of the hips here on this. Very cute, switching places. So honestly, it just goes back to kind of my previous point that I've already made. So I'm going to stop making the point, because we've already heard it probably twice over, and I've reworded it like 3 times. So, but the transitions are nice, very, very much in sync. A lot of unison here, and a lot of movements do seem a bit very playful. They can teeter a little into childish, but because of the concept, it makes sense why it would work that way. Posing through, really nice to see. Dipping through, boom, and a da da, which are really nice. Bleeding through, do do do. Really like the usage of the wrist and tinkering it through from one side to the other. That was a really nice thing to see there. Switching of the feet, and then we roll through, boom. She keeps it up, everybody down, and then they come up. So it does have a little like pockets of sexy in it, which is why, I mean, I feel like that's always the thing that you teeter, and I don't know their age or anything like that. And this is not my point, it's not about that. It's mostly just a concept. Is like, there's people who go like the super, super cute round, or like, it's cute, but it's a little facade. We're a little sexy too. This is kind of what they're teetering right now. But even then, their choices of how to be sexy are very predictable, if that makes sense. Like, there's nothing really iconic about this that makes it feel like, wow, this is such an earworm, you know? And that's kind of something that can really help you really stand out. Diving through, switching it through, dun 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 dun. Really nice on the step outs, great on the upper body and lower body on that. Switching through, walking through. Yep, hitting on the sides. It's more of a triple. The claps are definitely in sync, which is really nice to see. With the taps, ha. cute moments, but it's I've seen this probably from 5 to 10 other girl groups of this era or earlier, which is why it doesn't feel so, it's I kind of feel like I'm touching on the same things because there really isn't a lot to touch on, I think, is kind of the struggle for me on this one. It is very average in most things except for the synchronicity. The synchronicity is above average for sure. Love it. Absolutely love it. And that's why a lot of you guys wanted me to look at dream catchers, because of their synchronicity. And I appreciate that, because I am all for that. But we do have to get through some of these where it's a we're struggling a little bit on complexity, so it's hard to not sound like I'm beating a dead horse. I think is the tricky part for me right now in this. But I get to grow in that area, and I think that's great. With this, there is just a slight little discrepancy right there with one of our dancers. The claps is still very nice. Shake it towards the back. Notice there's an extra weight that is catering for some of them. I would say these two, they are doing a pretty good job of like sinking into the hips whenever they choose to move them. She's staying pretty upright, and you can tell based on where they're putting their weight in their feet, as well as how they're bending their knees. She's not really bending her knees that much, but these two are, and that's how you can tell that. And they're next to each other. Having it through, and that's why theirs looks more full. It's because they allow the bend of the knee, and they're hinging the hips a little bit more, and it's really helping. They're committing to it on the lower half a little bit more than our dancer in the middle. This right here is actually very impressive. You'd be surprised at how off this can look when you do it multiple times, and they really held it down. That was really fun to see. And then having sarang. Yeah! Diving it through. Punch and punch and punch and punch. And then I just honestly, side note, Dal Shabbat. I remember Dal Shabbat. They also did this kind of concept. Is what it feels like to me. You let me know if I'm wrong. But I do remember when I would see that name pop up, they scream sweetness, you know? So I feel like, I wonder if we're just kind of oversaturating the market with this. Dropping it down. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. And not, of course, we have a lot of, you know, hip usage on this, accents with the hips, sliding through, and how we sit, very, very predictable, and their choices running through. Oh, it's so cute. Bleeding it through, little windshield wipers, transitioning it over, and then of course using our hips to help accent on the bases. And it does look, I think they may be talking about eating ice cream or whatever it is. I don't know. But I understand the wordplay a little bit more here. Down with the hips once again. I like the traveling through. That's a very cute choice they made. I mean, the concept looks fine. It's just not, it doesn't stand out really at all. Shaking love, and we're right back to the chorus, all in unison. There isn't any other dynamics that we're looking at. No mirroring, no levels. It's just choreography with just into a diagonal or into a V or into a small clump. So they're not even really helping the choreography by adding syncopation, like a ton of syncopation. I would say their other track had more syncopation in it, but it was still riding on that simplistic roller coaster, you know. But I would say that one was this is a teetering year, you know, like we're really starting to transition over into that more difficult choreo. Shake it love, and like getting into the like 2013 era-esque kind of vibes, 2012, that's where we enter into Gen 3. I think is when we really started with that, and they're like right in the beginning-ish of Gen 3, near the tail end of Gen 3, going into Gen 4 is when we really start seeing a lot more elevation in the performance, and not aura, performance meaning complexity of choreography and how you are expected to have that as well as perform live. So the expectation of idols is higher, is what I think we're realizing. And then we're right back into the choreo that we've already kind of seen. And that's another thing, that's what's really hard about really simple choreos, or that they don't give us a lot and they repeat a lot, is that it's hard for people like me to find different things to look at outside of what we just talked about, especially if it's the exact same thing done the exact same way. It feels like a broken record, and I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time by saying the same thing over and over again. But I know that's just me overthinking it. And that also means that I have an area to grow in, to figure out better ways to refine or reword information that can elaborate off of what I've already mentioned. But in all, though, like I've mentioned, the timing, of course, is great. Even in all of this, diving it down, brushing up, they do choose to brush up in the back of the hand. Great choice. It creates this really nice pocket with the arch of the back, bringing it through. We have one of them right here in the middle, slowly walks forward, and everybody's nice and frozen. Then they all go back into the circle. We've kind of seen that about twice already. Then we go into just your basic, every other staggered lines. Everyone gets to kind of do their own thing, come in towards the middle. That was a fun syncopation moment. They bleed in, twinkle the hands, they roll it down. And now everybody committed slightly differently. I would say one of them, she didn't quite use her lower body as much as I feel everybody else did. So that would be my note to her. If we really want to see a defined difference between our feature and everybody else, she needed to get just a smidgen lower. Now we all pose. Notice that no one else put their hand up. So I would say somebody else would have needed to put their hand up to make that feel not really quite stand out. Or our feature would put their hand up and everybody put their hand down. That would have been better. All get to do their own thing. Some are using their balance, some are using their shoulders. I'm assuming that's an individualized choice they get to make. With the clap, she gets to do the choreo, have her moment. Everybody branches back out to where they're supposed to be. Nice straight line, but even then, it does feel that it's supposed to be a diagonal, which it's not. It's not a straight line either. I don't quite know what this formation is. It could just be we're just off, and because the camera's in front, you don't really catch it as much. Because that means everybody would have needed to be about right here, but I think it was tricky too because there's this prop that's happening right here. So if anything, she should have set up a little bit further back to about right here, so everybody would have been in line. That's kind of what my gut's telling me, is she was supposed to move just for the sake of the shot, but not 100%. I like the little partner work that we're doing with the shimmies. It's super fun. Da, da. And then we're hitting it through, which is nice. And shake it, shake it, shake it. And notice with the ISOs, with the hips, they are choosing to hit up and then reset it down. So that's a nice syncopation with the hips. But because we've already seen this key point choreo about 3 times now, it doesn't feel as... This part right here, boom, boom. It is nice and it's fun to see, just not 4 times. I think just if we modified it, if we did it as an add-on, like it's the same every time, that would have been the perfect opportunity to do an add-on from 1 to the 2 and the 2. That would have been really nice. Or they could have syncopated it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know, 1 and add on and then add on, add on. That would have been really nice. But we didn't. I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities in that realm specifically. Signing it back in. Also, the spacing is a little bit off with her. Her spacing is a little too far out. She should have been a little bit closer near this tail end. Finishing in. And they're all like, ah, all finished. Super cute. But like I've said, and I have a feeling a lot of you may agree, especially because if you're a fan of Dreamcatcher, you understand where they came from to where they are now. You're probably very much appreciative that there was a change in concept, because this is not the same as what the Dreamcatcher we're going to be encountering. And I technically have not seen a Dreamcatcher dance practice, so I do not know how the movement works, but I have heard a couple of their tracks. So I do understand the shift in energy, timbre, tonal color, and performance intention. I do know that going in, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to look like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I've said, I'm actively reacting to Dreamcatcher, but right now they're in the form of MINX, which is really fun for me to see where, like I've said, where they've started to where they are finishing up. It's going to be quite a journey. I'm very excited about it, and of course the discussions are going to be very insightful for me personally. I cannot wait to just see and hear and learn more about this group and learn if there's other things that would be really helpful helpful for me to know. And if they have particular roles, who the leader is, things like that. So far, I've only kind of taken a guess of who I would think would be deemed one of the dancers because of her fullness of energy. But even then, it's kind of loosely claimed. And it's definitely going to be a really, really fun journey. And I'm excited to partake in this along for the ride with everybody else. Once again, I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.